Hello and welcome to another exciting Blender tutorial. Today we're making this cool wormhole effect. Let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is hit A to select everything and X to delete. And then I'm going to go Shift A, Mesh, and Circle. Why not? Let's rotate X 90 degrees and scale it up. Hit Tab to go into edit mode. Hit E to extrude and Y. I'm going to grab Y and I'm just going to pull this end all the way out over here. Now I'm going to hit Control R to create some loop cuts and just roll my mouse wheel a whole lot to get a bunch of cuts. Hit Escape to leave the loop cut tool. Actually, what we're going to do is this front bit here, we're going to go Control R, and we're going to roll our mouse wheel a whole lot there to get a bunch more cuts. And then I'm going to click this loop, make sure proportional editing is turned on, and hit S to scale. And then I'm going to roll my mouse wheel, and I want a slightly different fall off. So I'm going to go for sharp. There we go. Let's give me what I want. And maybe grab Y, bring that group back a bit so it curves like that. I'm going to hold down Alt and click this edge loop here, and I will double tap G and just slide it forward. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'll put it kind of right in the middle between this edge and this edge. And what I'm thinking is it's too sharp, right? It's kind of curving in and it's like way too sharp. I want to round that off a whole lot. So I'm going to hold down Alt, select this loop that's too short, and I'm going to hit Control B to bevel, and then move my mouse a little bit, and then roll my mouse wheel. Just keep going with that until the geo looks relatively even with the stuff that comes after it. So there we go. That's pretty good. Nice. I'm going to right click and shade smooth. All right, cool. Now I might put a bend in this, so I'm going to Alt click the final loop with proportional editing turned on. I'm going to hit R and Z, and then extend my mouse wheel out like that. And just get this to kind of go over a little bit. I might move it over on the X. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to create a shader so that we can see the surface of this wormhole from one angle, but from another angle, we won't see it. And that means that this section here is going to be transparent. We're not going to see it when we're looking at it through a camera, but we can see it when we look through. So we get this really cool wormhole type effect. All right, cool. So now let's pull up our timeline down here and switch this over to the shader editor. I'm going to select my wormhole and click New to create a new shader. And I'm going to come over here and switch to Eevee. And I want to switch Scene World off just by clicking this little drop-down arrow and turn that off. And then we're going to go to the built-in HDRIs, and I'm just going to click this one here, this black one, this like studio light setup. I'm going to turn the opacity up and just rotate around a bit so it's dark behind my view. What we need to do is work out what's facing the camera, what's not. Whatever's facing the camera we want to see, and whatever isn't facing the camera we don't want to see. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. If I select the object and go into edit mode, I can come over here and we can turn on, what's going to help us out? Actually, not in edit mode. Let's just come up here and turn on face orientation. If I take that, you can see that this section's red and the inside of the tube is red, and the outside is this blue color. And what Blender is telling us is this set of faces, they're all facing one way, and this blue is facing in the opposite direction. We can see what direction they're pointing. If we go into edit mode and then come down here and click this little menu for this drop down, and we're going to click over here for normals and just click on one of these and just extend the size of the normals out. And you'll see we get these little teal lines. Now all these teal lines are pointing out, and these ones on the inside, we don't see any at all, right? So it means that these faces, they're all one-sided. They're all pointing in the direction of these teal lines. So this is the back of the faces, and these are the front of the faces. First thing we're going to do is we're going to flip all these faces so they're pointing in the opposite direction, because we were interested in seeing on the inside, and we were going to hide the back of these faces. So let's flip them. I'm going to hit A to select all, and then come up here to face, and no, sorry, come over here to mesh, and we're going to go down to normals, and we're going to click flip. And that will flip all the normals. So now you can see the teal lines are pointing out from this bit, and they're pointing into the center tunnel, whereas the outside now, there's no more teal lines. All right, cool. Now, using that information, what we can do is we can come over here, we could say geometry, and we want to find out what's back facing and what isn't. So let's have a look at what this geometry node gives us. I'm going to plug this into the emission. And then I'm going to turn off face orientation so we can't see that anymore. So now you can see that we get this white value here and this darker value here. If I set the shader just to black, and let's turn off the specular, you can see The inside's black and the outside is white. So it's giving us a white value wherever we have a back-facing object, back-facing face. I'm going to flip that. I'm going to invert this. So I'm going to come over here and type invert, and we'll just drop it here. And now you'll see this bit's black and this bit's white. Okay. Now instead of the emission, let's plug this into the alpha channel. And the alpha channel will make everything transparent. What we have is black value, and we'll make it visible when we have a value that's close to white or close to 1. So over here in the options in the side panel, so if you can't see this, there's a little button here you can click, and we can drag that out, and that will, I'll just extend this up, give you this side menu here. And we're going to come down to the options tab. So often it starts off with the node tab. So you just come down these tabs down here to the option tab. And we want to set the blend mode to alpha blend. And shadow mode we can set to none. We really don't need this thing's casting shadows. And I'm going to turn off show backface. All right, now I can't see anything yet, so let's brighten this thing up. All right, so you can see now what's going on is we're getting, basically, this is all visible, and this is not visible. If I turn off the grid, and maybe let's rotate our world, you'll be able to see this more effectively. So there we go. So you see now, this is all transparent, but if we look inside the tunnel, it's not transparent. So that is really cool. So as we come around it becomes visible. So one of the keys here is that alpha blend, if I switch this to alpha to hash, you can see it will work, right? And basically what alpha blend does is alpha blend gives you a really nice smooth transparency effect in Eevee. But whenever it's layered, so there's two transparencies on top of each other, one of them won't render. It only renders the frontmost one. So if I set this from alpha hash to alpha blend, it's not going to render the backside because the front side is transparent. Hope that makes sense. But that's the trick. We're using the limitations of the render engine to create this transparency. Okay, now let's make some cool stuff. Let's make some cool stuff. All right, I'm going to make this exit maybe a bit bigger. So I'm just going to, actually I don't need to see the normals anymore, so I'm going to hide those. I'm going to go to edge mode, hold down Alt, and select the outer edge there, and I'll just hit E and S just to scale that up. And I'm going to turn off proportional editing, just pull it back a bit. Let's go ahead and create some noise and then pipe that through into the emission, and as well create some fall off for a bit more of a gradient. So this edge falls off as well. So let's go over here. We're going to type in noise, and I'm going to grab a color ramp, and let's plug the factor into the factor, and then we're going to plug the color into the emission. There we go. Now I'm going to turn the scale up a little bit, and we can bring these up just to get a stronger look. I might plug this into the base color as well, so we've got both working for us. And let's pick some cool colors. I'm going to click this maybe and go for like a blue teal kind of look. And that one we can keep black. Might turn the roughness down as well, just to kind of make this a bit more even. And now let's grab a gradient. I want to grab a gradient so we have a bit of fall off on our transparency. So I'm going to grab a gradient texture, and I'm going to set it to spherical. And we're just going to focus on this for a second. So I'm going to bring this over here, I'm going to create an emission node. And this will allow me just to bypass all this complex shading and just look at straight up emission. And if I plug this in to the color, I can see what does this thing look like. We can actually place this spherical gradient really well. So I'm going to grab a color ramp, and I will drop it here, and then I'm going to get a texture coordinate node. And I will take this texture coordinated, I'm going to go for the generated and plug it into the vector. And then I'm going to grab a mapping node and drop it here. Now we'll have the ability to move this around. And what I can do is just play with this position until I get things kind of lined up in the way I want. I'm going to shrink the size of it, increase the contrast. Just move this around, just have a look at this straight on. Now I can expand this out a bit, and I'm going to switch this from linear to ease just to make that fall off even more gradual. And now what I want to do is add this in over here to the alpha. So let's get rid of the emission and plug this back in. And I'm going to grab all these nodes, bring them over here. And because we want to keep the white, right, and lose the black, what we're going to do is we're going to add this in straight over here. So I'm going to go for a mix color, and I'll plug this in here, and I'll plug this one into here. So we're setting this to multiply everywhere we have a black value in this gradient. It's going to basically push the values to 0. Wherever we have a white value or 1, it will keep the values that already exist. So that way we can use this to kind of cut this out a little bit. So I can adjust these now to get something that has the right level of fall off. All right, I'm going to take this one off black, and I'll give it a bit of a blue color as well. And it looks pretty cool. In fact, I might make these really similar. I'm just going to color pick the end of this and then just darken it a touch to show there's a slight variation. I'm going to make some rings, some like glowing rings that are moving in this. So let's go for a, what do I want? A wave texture. All right, so let's take the wave texture and we're going to add this into the emission. We're going to add this into the emission strength especially. So what I'm going to do is I'll just make some room, bring this down here. Oops. We're going to take this wave texture and we'll just plug this factor into the emission strength. And you can see, there we go, we're getting some wave patterns. And I want to change the direction to Z. The reason we're changing to Z is because remember, first thing we did was we rotated this thing on X on the 90. So if we had kept it, we'd be going up and down. That's why it's the Z direction that works. And now what I can do is I can come over here and I can grab a texture coordinate node and a mapping node and drop this here. I can take the generated into the vector into the vector. And generated is the default. It's one that it's already using. So nothing changes when we plug this in. So that's why I'm just using that. It's because it's required to use this mapping node. Now, if I move this along the Z, you see it's going to travel across the space of this, this surface. And we can add a little bit of distortion as well. Let's see. Cool. Now, what I'm going to do is have this thing continually animate over time. So I'm going to come over here and grab a combine XYZ node, and I'll plug it here into the location vector. And then I want to take the Z value, and I want to, actually, I might make this separate. I'm going to come out and grab a value node. And in this value node, I'm going to hit the pound symbol or the hashtag, and then type in the word frame. So if you can see that, I'll zoom in a bit closer so you can really see it. So pound or hashtag frame. There we go. So now this is going to maintain the same value as our frame. So as I press play, you can see that we're going up. Now we can use this to drive the position. So let's grab a math node, and I'm going to slow it down a little bit. So I'm going to multiply by like 0.1 maybe. So I grab this value, plug it into here, grab this value and pop it into the Z. See if we're going in the right direction. Just press play. Yeah, it's way too fast. 2 more zeros. There we go, but it's going in the wrong direction. So I'm going to come over here and put a negative in front of that. So now it's coming forward, and I might get rid of one of those zeros and see how that plays. Not quite right. 0, and then I might turn this up to 5. There we go, it looks a bit better. Now what we can do is we can ramp this up a bit. If I come over here and grab a math node, and I can multiply and turn this up to a higher value, and the higher it goes, the more brightness we're going to get. I'm going to come over to the render tab and turn on bloom so we can see what that bloom is going to look like. Also come over here and grab a color ramp. Drop this here. Now we can play with this look a little bit. Bring this forward. Turn on proportional editing. Grab Y. I'll just make it glow in a bit more of a realistic way, I think. Grab this one forward as well. There we go. Looks better. Good if this had a bit of motion to go along with the actual wave things. So let's do that. I'm going to come over here, and we can use a similar system. So I can just take this mapping node, Shift D, bring it up, and grab the generated coordinate and plug the vector into the vector. And then what we can do is grab this and plug it into the location all the way up here. And we'll move that in at the same rate. See how that looks. Make some space. Grab a noise texture, set the scale to 600. Grab a color ramp, Drop it here, put the factor into the factor and the color into the color. And then let's draw these guys close together. Space. I've just tweaked the detail roughness and the detail scale there and the detail itself. These all really help kind of break it up, create some cool effects. It's really neat. I do feel like we need to break up the outside edge of this, like this radial, this ramp. Where is it? Gradient texture. The spherical one's a bit too even. So let's distort the UV coordinates a little bit. So I'm going to come over here and grab a mix color, and I will drop it in here, and I'm going to grab a noise texture, and I will drop it here. And I'm going to turn the factor all the way down to 0, and then I'm just going to hold down Shift and drag it up a little bit. That's going to distort it. It's also going to push it down. So I need to compensate that a little bit by moving this up. And there you have it. We've got our finished effect, this really cool one-sided wormhole transparency thing. I hope you really learned some cool tips on this and have got something that you can use in your own projects now. Thanks so much for watching. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this tutorial. Leave me a comment. Let me know what kind of tutorials you'd like to see. And please subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate it. Now, if you want to check out the Patreon or join on YouTube, you can get access there to all the uncut versions of my tutorials. There's a lot of extra stuff, a lot of extra detail that I go into with these. So if you'd like to check that out, head over there. Special thanks to all the Patreon supporters and everybody who supports through YouTube by joining. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all of you. Until next time, I will catch you later. See ya.